Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Anything Blows. My name is Andrew, and today I'm proud to be joined by the Prince of Essex. Otherwise, if he wants to go by any other nicknames, but obviously the King of Top Tier, the man who founded it and made the amazing company. And Johnny, I want to talk to you about this. When you started Top Tier, and I saw a reel of you the other day, and you said you don't want to sound big-headed, but you knew these fights were coming. You knew these names were going to come onto your show and you envisioned it from the start. And many people, like you said, even your best friend Lee Eaton laughed, and everyone else said that, oh no, it's not going to be made possible. You envisioned it, you manifested it, and how proud are you now to show that you've made it reality, which not many tend to do.
Well, it cost me a lot of money as well. I think that's why they said it couldn't happen, is because they wouldn't have put that kind of money into it. You know, they'd have done it the other business way. But yeah, I'm very proud of it. But like I said, I predicted it was happening. I know Abdul, he holds me in his prayers every night to make sure it does happen, which means a lot, along with like my um I've got a very good team, like even to the production company, the ring company. Everyone wants everything perfect because they know I do. So yeah, it just helps build relationships and it helps build my brand. And now we're getting to the places where I need to be. Just need to be there financially. That's the only thing that's missing at the moment. The quality of the night is good. The quality of the broadcast is good. The quality of the fights are good. You know, the quality of belts are getting better. Now I just need the financial side for the promoter to be spot on. So that will come, obviously, in good time. I'm only in just out of my first year of being a promoter. So what comes in the next year will hold me good. It just needs to make a bit more sense money wise, but that will come.
I love to hear that. Just because I delved into the question straight away, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Just come back off holiday. Worked the whole time I was on holiday, as I always do. Yeah, no, I'm good. Everyone's healthy and happy, and I'm ready to smash this next month for my boxing show.
And not to focus on the negatives and not to reminisce on it, but what did you make about the Euros and obviously the final not going our way?
Predictable. You know what I mean? Just predictable. But you learn from it. So I think we're getting closer and closer. So who knows what happens next in the World Cup?
Let's hope. And honest to God, I don't think we would have had a better chance. Not only the route to the final, but the England squads we had now. And the Croatia loss in the semi final still hits my heart. And then we had the Euros final against Italy. I was like, oh my God, we're going to get it back here. And then the Spain one, like I said, and it's no discredit, but most said it was one of the most, not say boring, but it wasn't the best Euros tournament. We had the easiest route. And we never played well. The best football we played, in my opinion, was the first half against Holland. We looked like Man City or like Liverpool. And then it's unfortunate and to lose the way we did. Not going to blame Harry Kane, not going to blame that curse, but yeah, it's unfortunate and we move on. By the way, before we go on to the boxing, I have to mention it. What a post Danny Dyer did. Typical East Londoner, typical Essex lad, defines West Ham. What do you expect for next season? Obviously, you've said it before, but now we've brought in a World Cup winner. We've brought in Championship Player of the Season in Somerville, and an experienced German striker in Fulkrug who played majority of games for Dortmund last year, but every single minute of the Champions League final last year.
Yeah, no, I expect some good things. I think we'll qualify for Europe. But I do think we need one more centre back and one more striker. So then we'll be all right.
I love that. And we've been linked with Wan-Bissaka and Kieran Trippier. I'd love Trippier and yeah, solid centre back and another striker would be well. And do you reckon you say Europe, obviously Europe regardless, it's what we want. We want that European tour again, but do you think it's a conference? Do you think it's Europa or could we break history and make the Champions League?
Europa. Go for Europa. Slowly, slowly. You don't want to jump up too quick. Because what's the point qualifying for Champions League? We're not going to do any good in it, are we? So
No.
it'll just
What
be a good day.
Newcastle's on?
Yeah. So you might as well do it slowly, but surely.
Yeah, and it's like that as well. Many people didn't like the Conference League at first, or many people would make jokes about the Europa League back in it, especially when you're United or Arsenal in it. But essentially, going into the Europa, you'd rather slowly build up than jump to the big leagues, and you can't fit there. So it's kind of like Fulham and Norwich in the Championship. And before we go back onto the boxing, of course, it's like those type of clubs that they can't survive in the Premier League, but they do amazing in the Championship. So pace up. So now we go on to your next card, and I want to ask you there. You're no stranger to great names, and you're no stranger to great posters and colors and designs. So talk about the light blue, which you're wearing, coincidentally, or is it dark blue, and why is it called Diligent?
Yeah, it was more attention to detail and making sure everything's done. That's me. And it wasn't solely on me. It was due to like me going on about the medicals and boxers not doing them. And to be on this show, needs to be a bit more diligent, So that's why the name was there. And thankfully, everyone got in line. But obviously, there's a few that have got to still be sorted. So I'm on their case. But yeah, it was more that. And my daughter asked for this colour. So I let them choose. I wanted yellow because I hadn't done yellow yet. And she chose this one. So I let her have it. Yeah, but that's it, the story. That's all it is.
I love that. And maybe yellow, you could maybe do yellow and black and have like a hazard. And maybe you could call it hazard like next time. And that would be a sick idea. So we go on to the first contest. Harvey Smith, a debutant, versus Sean Jackson, Leon Sudbury's fighter, Takeover Management's fighter, another debutant. We saw what the last debutant done that was out of Leon's stable. Talk about this one. And he's got two debutants on the card, but we'll start with Harvey.
Yeah. Yeah, so Harvey is very well spoken of in my area, if I'm being honest. He actually works with my friend in the yard. And yeah, I had to pull out. So Amy Andrew injured her knee. So I had to replace him, and that's the same management. And they've always asked to come on. So I allowed it, to be honest with you. And I like helping out people in the area. Obviously, they need a space to box, don't they? They need to get out, they need to do something, and it might as well be local for them as well. So I didn't mind giving him his debut and giving him a top tier treatment. But I've heard very good things from him sparring at Will Jones's gym with the likes of Tom Welland and that. So I was just like, yeah, let's give him a go. Obviously, it was only because Amy got injured, but he's still going to get the treatment that he deserves because it's his debut. And let's make it one to remember.
And we move on to the second contest. I don't know the running order. I'm just going off of what's on BoxRec here. So Danny Boardman, another debutant. I believe you have three debutants now on this show. Danny Boardman, Queensbury signee. How proud are you? Not only a Matchroom signee, which we'll get onto later, but you have a Queensbury fighter and a Matchroom fighter on your card again.
Yeah, like I said, I expected it. Like I put on shows at their level. I know that. So they're not going to want to go. Or they probably might want to box in York Hall, but they're not going to want to box in York Hall with no love, no promotion, no cameras, no filming, no highlight reels, no media. They're going to want to be around shows that hold that so they can push their profile and help them sell tickets. Because I'm a salesman, so I'm helping them to sell every day. Like, just literally dropped to sell it to me for Lily. But she's had her own promotion. She's been on GMTV. She's done Daily Star, not Daily Star, what's that? Daily Sport, sorry.
Yeah.
And every time you post, it causes attraction for the boxer. Where most promotions, they give you a ticket, some don't even give you a poster. I've seen a lot of people making their own. They give you a poster and that's it. So we're just trying to help Small Hill build as much as possible. So we value people that come on and they value being on because they get a lot more love. But yeah, Danny Boardman versus Lewis Smithson. What a fight, Lewis. When you have a debut, probably what Harvey's going to find out is Sean's going to go running. He might hurt him and go running where he wants to win. You know what I mean? He don't care about getting the rounds in. He's there to win. And when Danny Boardman come on, I was like, I need someone like he's the same weight as Zach Fee. Like, let's have a look round who Zach's fought. And I thought, Lewis Smithson, there you go. Like, let's get him on. And he's coming to win. So it'll be a great debut for him with someone that's coming to actually box him rather than run away. And I think it'll be a good fight.
And potentially coming to cause the upset, because I've interviewed Louis the other night and it was great. And you talk about that there, and people will look at the records of fights. People go on to BoxRec, but those who haven't seen them perform and haven't seen them box, you talk about Louis. Like, he came to fight against Zach, and he comes to always fight. He avenged his debut loss against Jake Paul, so he's looking to do the same. He lost his professional debut, and obviously this time around, hopefully he's coming to cause the upset this time and be the man that upsets it. And like you said, Danny Boardman, like you said, you don't want to be on the, and it's no disrespect, but you don't want to be on a leisure centre or somewhere. And it's no disrespect, but you want the highlight reels, you want the clips, you want the entertainment, and you want the full treatment, the top tier treatment. And it's a great fight. It's a definition of a 50-50 and a definition of top tier and Johnny Clark shows. So talk about this. I believe she's out of the Edge Gym with Will Jones, Kate McLaren versus Bojana Libizelska. Hopefully I didn't butcher that one.
I'll let you say that one. Yeah, listen, moved over from, I think it's Australia, new management, new training team. Obviously, I'm a friend of Will's, so he asked me to put her on 100%. Let's get her on. Let's get her debut, and let's get an opponent that we know and that can give her a good test. So she's here. She wants to make a statement. She's had a lot of press in her home country about this. You know, I think the Daily Telegraph was even writing about her. So that's the thing now. We're getting boxers on, and the press are getting hold of it. So it's a step in the right direction, you know. And for her, I hope she does very well, makes a statement. I've seen that she's already got another fight lined up after this, so she's going to be active. So, yeah, it's good to have her on.
I love that. And now we go on to another 50-50 contest, another matchroom fighter, and another one where the away fighter, where on top tier, there's no away fighter, everyone's treated the same, but Kane Morgan's coming to him. So Lady Buttigieg versus Kane Morgan. Laylee's been on the Matchroom shows, he's been on TV, he's been on DAZN, he's been on the big fight nights versus Kane Morgan. Kane coming off a 3-year layoff, and I don't know, has he explained his story to you about overcoming prostate cancer? And like he said, if you can survive that, you can survive anything in this game. And he's just come off of a close loss to Ishan Hazini on his debut 2 months ago on the Box Nation show at York Court. Yeah, talk about it.
Yeah, he's as well, like very, very, very good. And like, don't let Kane's record, like they didn't really wanted a winning record. It's hard to find someone with a winning record who's willing to do 6 rounds, no title, and no massive purse. So they had to lower their expectations. But I said to him, like, the only reason Kane's record sits the way it does is because he takes risks and he's not scared. I'm telling you now, his last opponent would beat 90% of people that have been on my show. So like, don't look at it like he's a loser. He's there to take your head off. He's ready. He wants to come. He wants to come to win. He's not rolling over. He's not a journeyman. He's coming to win. And that's perfect for me because having a Matchroom boy on the show, he's obviously a ticket seller as well. He's obviously going to be on late. He's asked for the best tickets, the most tickets, and a winning record opponent, someone there to actually test him. And now what you're going to get is a very good fight. So we need a good fight that later on in the night, especially if I get a broadcaster enrolled. I need good fights with good quality crowd while this fight's going on as well. So I don't want to put him on, you know, second or third from last and the crowd's empty and he bangs him out in 1 round. You know, I want a good test for him. I want to build my brand and not just be a walkover, you know, with all the home fighters winning. We don't want that. It happens a lot because the quality of the home fighter is just too good, you know, but that's what we aim for, quality fights.
And this is a banger and one to watch for and one of the fight of the night. So now, go on to the next one. And I was at the Indigo for his last performance. I knew him before his professional debut. And I'm just so proud of him just watching the journey continue. He's got a great family, great backing, obviously a fellow West Ham boy, which makes me so, so proud. Vinny James, I didn't even realise it in the arena, but I interviewed him. It was with Tommy Fletcher. It's always great vibes with the Origin lads. And then I hear on another interview, he said, oh, I'll be back September 7th. And I was like, September 7th, that rings a bell, and that's top tier show. So talk about this here. Vinny James versus Conor Memo. Vinny James, now, have you watched his last few performances? Not only 2 at York Hall, his debut, but also at the Indigo to show for, as we quote it, small hall. It's stepping up. It's gone from York Hall. It's gone from the Indigo, and now it's going to the Brentwood Centre. It's just leveling up.
Yeah, I'd like to give him his debut as a family friend. My wife and his sister work together. We know his family very well. I'd have loved to give him his debut, but it didn't work out time-wise for him. And now he finally gets to come on. You know, I think we're filming his promo video today. And it'd be good to have someone from that gym on the shows, hopefully entice more of them on in the future. But just to show them, you know, this is the level. This is the level that I produce and that I give. And I deserve boxers at a high level to come on as well. And to have Finley on, I was at his debut, obviously, supporting a family friend. And yeah, he's very good. You don't get called the captain of West Ham for nothing, you know. So no, it was good to see him and have him back on, or have him originally on there. So yeah, very happy about that.
And do you feel like not like Upton Park, not like old stadiums, but we got to renovate and we got to make the Brentwood Centre bigger because the amount of tickets you're selling per each fighter, I think you need at least 5, 10,000.
Yeah, mate. Listen, it's been hard to dish out tickets, if I'm being honest. Um, the home fighters are selling so much that the away fighters they're not getting many, and it's becoming a struggle. But the problem is where if I put on less fights but give out more tickets, if a fight cancels, you're fucked, financially. So we have to keep it a bit more even on the tickets I give out, and then hopefully if one does cancel, I can give the tickets to someone else to sell on. But you just have to be very, very careful with the medicals, and that's why I'm just a bit more tight, diligent, that this don't happen.
And I want to mention it there. Obviously, you've mentioned it in the past, but you've made Brentwood the home of basics and you've revamped boxing because not only have the newspapers talked about you, but everyone's mentioned what that last contest did. Not only having Jimmy Sains and George Little and obviously Lily, but you had a great card and it was like a boost for Essex and it has been for a long time. Would you ever move from the Brentwood Centre or is that home and that's your establishment?
Well, at the moment, it's my home, but soon the promotion will kick up a little bit more. If a TV deal comes in or if anything changes on the financial side, then yeah, I'll sign boxers soon as well. That's something I'm looking into now. Is maybe starting a management company, building people on small hall shows, and then bringing them on to top tier to fight for titles. That's one thing that I've got in line. Is being sorted out now. Um, and then obviously when top tier grows, I might have to do a little top tier tour, and pick up other boxers from other areas. But at the moment, I'm very happy where I am because people are coming to me, and that's when you build a brand, people are willing to travel to come and watch a great show. Because what you got to imagine is I'm getting busloads from Coventry, from Wales, there are some Leeds. They're coming because they're not just watching their friend, they're watching a very good show, so they're not in and out of the venue. They
Mm.
come the whole show. So yeah, it's about building a brand. Eventually we will probably outgrow the Brentwood Centre. But at the moment, I'm so happy to be small hall, and that's my hall.
And I've got to make a joke about it. It's over there somewhere in a corner. But you gave me the top tier bag one day, and I said we're gonna go to Milan, we're gonna go to Madrid, we're gonna go to Vegas, and forget your Louis Vuitton bags. Who needs that when you've got a top tier bag? That's the best bag in the business. So, and the best merch. So, before we go on to the second contest, proudly wearing her merch, Lily Winch versus Bet Conley, and nothing hit me hard then. There's a special feeling knowing a fighter before their debut. There's something about hearing them and being highly touted by Leon and everyone around them. But Lily, she's been on, I was going to say GBM, Good Morning Britain. And then she's also had another article and another article released today on the Daily Mail. And just talk about her because it's inspirational, not only the weight loss story, but the mental health side as well, and how she's been influenced by Tyson Fury, and she's looking to do that for the next generation, not only of girls, not only young women coming into the sport, but everyone, and looking to become a next big figure.
Yeah, well, big figure. But yeah, to be honest, I think that's what boxing does for people. It gives you direction, it gives you discipline, it gives you obviously the weight loss journey, and what that comes along with is the mental side of it. And I've known she was good for a long time, and I know she was fit. She may have been a bigger girl, but she was fit, So but that's boxing. It gives you all that direction, discipline, as I said, and she has got a talent. And I think, like she said in a promo video, she was nervous, and then as she turned the corner, it dropped a bit. But you see her grow into the fight to the point where, as I see her going back, smiling with a bit of swagger, and then I felt that energy, and then I thought there's so much more for her to come from her, and you're going to see the best of her. Like she was hard matched, to be honest, and we changed the opponent, which was a blessing because it was the right thing to do. And now she's got quite a tough opponent for her second fight, but she's ready. I know she's ready, and I'm quite looking forward to seeing and being part of the journey, if I'm being honest.
And you talk about that there. Bet Conley, she's been in there with the best girls in Britain and in the world, Sky Nicholson and so many others, and Katie Taylor. But you talk about that there. Not only the belief, not only the swagger, but you got someone that loves it, and it's a great story. And now the second fight is going to be amazing. Also you got three takeover fighters on the card. We'll go on to the next one in a moment. But what I've literally just seen on your reel, and I've been waiting for that to drop for a while. Not only dropping down in weight, but stepping up in level. And most girls, no disrespect to anyone else, but don't take Bet Conley for their second fight and weren't as game to take as well Angelica in their first fight, because most don't take her in the first fight either. So it shows how game she is.
Yeah, to be honest, there's not many to pick from either. So, and it's professional boxing. So you have got to do everything correctly. And for me, the weight and the quality of opponent all have to be right. And I think now, like if you look from the poster photo of the first fight to the weigh-in photo was a great change. But now I want to see a change from the weigh-in photo to the weigh-in photo of this show. I want to see the down again. And it's about sticking to that. And the only way you can do that is by keeping active, and it's by being more disciplined. So she knows what could happen. Listen, look at me. If I lose concentration on my weight loss journey, it comes straight back on. Every holiday, I put on all the weight I lost in the last 2 months in a week. So it's easily done, isn't it? You know what I mean? We're all human. It's easily done. After camp, you're going to blow up. But if you stay that disciplined and think, now this is her future, like she's saying about the Tyson Fury story. So use that. He ballooned up again, didn't he? And then had to lose the weight. So just use that as an example and keep going, because she was very highly spoken about, going out sparring everyone before she even turned pro. It took a long time to get her license. She's got it, and now she's making the best of it. Stay active. That's the main thing in boxing, I find, is an active fighter will beat an inactive fighter. So keep going.
I love that. And she brought down, I believe Caroline Dubois was there on the night, Lauren Parker, Maisie Rose Courtney, so many other girls that she sparred with and came to support. Now we go on to this one, and Leon's third fighter on the card, Takeover's sports management fighter, another debutant, God willing, what Lily done on the last show, and both of them will show it this time around. Toomey Phillips versus Stephen Vincent. And I just have to say, and I've got to give you credit, Johnny, those shots are unreal. They look like poster boy. They look like cover of Vogue magazine, or like not just men's mental health. I'm trying to think of magazines right now. I haven't read one in a while, but they look like front star of like a newspaper. Like those shots are like unreal. Like I said, Canelo shots, Terence Crawford shots, elite level shots, and it's sick. Like the promo he's had so far.
Yeah, to be honest, his promo's dropping this evening as well. Like I've just pitched a broadcaster, and I've told them, go and look at my social media. I'm going to give you the best content. I'll collab with you on everything. I believe my social media is better than most. I look at the big boys. I won't mention their names, but I think my social media top sets. What I give the boxers for small haul is unbelievable. What they get from me, like I said, every time I post, I imagine they sell a couple of tickets. Yeah, so that's, isn't it, to help themselves. I'm a promoter. I've got to promote them. I can't just give them a ticket, call myself a promoter, and go missing and see them in 6 weeks and ask them, where's my money? That's not how it works in my eyes. So, yeah, like you said, we do the best posts, and I'm very happy with how everything's coming together. Like we had tried and error, like even some stuff gets to me. I said, oh, sorry, that's not top tier. And now everyone around me knows the top tier level and they expect it. So when they're getting it, they're knocking it back before it gets to me now, which is the hardest thing in business, is to get everyone thinking and working the same level as me. And now that's come. So yeah, I'm very proud of how everything's looking online at the moment. The views on everything is going up. The followers are going up. The people that are following us from the boxing world, that level's going up. Yeah, they've got a lot of eyes on us at the minute, and I think we're heading in the right direction.
And before we go on to the last four contests, I want to say that I want to give you immense praise, because not only the pictures, not only the reels, but the attention to detail. You said it for your last weigh-ins. Correct me if I'm wrong. What was the way you had it, how you lined it? So it was like their picture of their fight night, or like the picture of them, the little reel, and then something on the left. How was it? How'd you line it?
Yeah, so obviously everything has to be in line. That's part of the social media team's job. I didn't take credit for that. So then, like, you had the weigh-in, the reel, the highlight reel, and everything was bang, 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 all in a column. You know, and that's quite hard to do. But then you do one post and that column's gone. So
Yeah.
it's like freeze, isn't it? You have to always post in a free. But listen, it's what we're doing. Like people are noticing it. Um, we put a lot of time and effort into all this, you know. So it's nice that people like it and that they see the attentions, you know, because now you can collab with boxers. Most people don't follow your page because they think I'll see it anyway, you know. But we're getting attention going up slowly, and I'm proud of how it's going, to be honest with you. But obviously, it's cost a lot of money, so things need to start turning around.
And I'm immensely proud of you because the clips are unreal. And you give, like I said, the respect to everyone. You collab with the coaches, you collab with the management, you collab with the teams, the family members. And I love that because you're giving everyone. And just before we go on to the last four, and I'll keep it very short so you can continue the rest of your day. But is it Auto Motors or OTM Motors who've just partnered with you, new sponsorship?
Yeah, yeah. So that's the thing. Like we do good things. We're very fair, and we bring a lot of eyes to companies. And like, if your product needs a boost, then where better else to go? Where a lot of people are seeing our content at the moment, and I actually met him in the gym. I've actually bought a car of him in the past. You know, so people believe in your product, but you have to believe in the man behind it. You know, like I go and get my hair cut, the barbers end up buying tickets off me. You know, like they just believe in me that much, and they want to see me do well. And listen, Pete, he's a lovely fella, very caring. I met him in the gym. Um, Bought a car, my wife's car off him, so he's well up on me anyway. And then he set up his own company, and then he wanted to sponsor the show. So we've done a nice little deal for him, you know, and he's getting a lot of love from that. And that's how it should be, you know. I've been very lucky with sponsors. Obviously, I'll be honest with you, I didn't have these sponsors, the shows wouldn't have happened as well if they had. And they would have probably toned down, and I've probably gone into the York Hall and had no production and walked out on the floor and jumped in the ring. That's the truth, you know. But because of these sponsors, I've managed to do shows how I want to do them, so I can't thank them enough.
I love that. And is there anything else you wanted to mention on Toomey's fight against Stefan Vizant before we move on?
Yeah, we kind of lost track there, didn't we? But to
Yeah.
me, I'm actually, it's probably the most exciting one for me. A lot of people have told me about him. And you know what I like best? He went to a gym with one coach and he wanted that coach, but he went round, he tried some very high level, famous, if you want to call it, trainers, and he went back to Kev Lilly. He said, "No, I want Kev Lilly." And I was like, I like that because there's no distractions. It's just you and him. Obviously Nina Hughes as well, but there's no lads. You know, let's go out, let's do this. Like he just wanted to get his head down and train. And then a few of my friends was around him while I was sparring and on trial at other gyms, and they said, "John, he's definitely one to watch, mate." So I just messaged Leon and I said, "Yeah, let's get him on." Or Leon might have told my friends to message me that, and he might have proper done me up here. He might be absolutely useless. You know what I mean?
Blame Leon. I'm joking, but yeah, it's always like that. And now we go on to a rematch, a great fight: Morgan Salamufu versus Holly Collison. Someone else who's been having calls because we see the behind the scenes, but we see the behind the scenes of behind the scenes on those. What do you call them? Where you put the weights on it and you shove like the things towards, like, you know, like when you have a straight line. You know what I'm talking about? You put the weights on. It's like a little barrel you're pushing. You get to see your cameraman on it. What's that called?
A crawl. I think it's called a crawler. Yeah.
Yeah, how cool does it feel? Not only a great rematch, but also a great promo again.
Yeah, listen, it's the grudge match. They're both from the same area. Um, they both got to be in their bonnet about the last fight, so it was pushed on them the last fight. It wasn't planned. Opponents dropped out, they ended up fighting each other. It was a couple of days' notice. And yeah, and this time it's a real 50-50. Like there's no purses, they're just fighting 50-50. I'd like the winner to maybe go on the next show. So they're fighting for a lot for me. Um, but what I like and what I didn't know was obviously Harley, he doesn't like live in a house, does he? He goes out and lives in the woods and trains and he's off grid, you know, and stuff like
Oh,
that. It's like caveman, isn't he? Like from
I
his
love
promo.
that.
Yeah, so that's something a little bit different. And yeah, like we were trying to get hold of him, we couldn't get hold of him. And it was like, yeah, he does this thing where he goes missing and that, but he's all right. I was like, all right, just make sure he does his medicals. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it's a very, very good fight. Last time, like you can't judge it off the last fight. Obviously, the favourite's going to be the person who won the last fight, in Morgan, but it was a rushed fight, you know. So this time they've got 6 rounds. They're training for each other. They know they're fighting each other. They've got experience of fighting each other. So now you're going to see like the real result will happen when whoever's trained, whoever's done what they needed to do, not cut the corners, they'll win.
I love to hear that. Now, going to a man which we've been exciting and come to the day, it will be roughly around a year since the Brazilian show. Marley Mason back on the card against Dan Booth because who was meant to be the original on this one that you, was it Ben Crocker you had to reschedule this for?
Yeah, so it was Ben Crocker versus Stelios. Then Stelios had a hernia, and then Ben Crocker then took on Dan Booth, and then Ben Crocker broke a finger. So listen, the fight just wasn't meant to be for Ben and Stelios, so now they're both on my November the 30th card. And then it was everything was there set up for Dan Booth, the weight, the price, the day before weighing, the hotels. So I had to find someone that could tick all their boxes as a home fighter. And straight away, I thought Marty Mason, same weight. Well, Marty's light, sometimes super light. He'd probably go down a bit, he says. But yeah, I thought, yeah, listen, he wants 50-50 fights. Dan Booth, credible opponent, be a real good fight, probably better than the Crocker fight. So yeah, let's get him in, and he needs to be in the home corner, Marley. He's been on the away corner, and he's probably felt the rough of that. You know, got draws, losses in close fights. Don't get me wrong, I didn't score the fight with
Crossbar.
Prosper. Yeah, I didn't score that, but I was actually on a holiday with my wife and her friends, and me and my wife slipped off and watched it on the beach, you know, but we only caught it halfway through. From what I see, he done very well, and I was surprised that he lost. But yeah, listen, that's part of being in the away corner sometimes, isn't it? So I'm glad that he's in the home corner and he can have a good go at this because it's another 50-50 fight. And if he wins this, it puts him back up where we should be. You know, like after this, it should be titles, shouldn't it? You know, he's got 8 rounds, and let's hope he gets through it.
It shows how game he is. He took on Jeff Foury in his fourth professional contest. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then the fifth one, Louis O'Doherty, and then obviously Aaron Prosper. So he wants big names, he wants big fights, and like you said, a hometown faithful, a local Essex lads. You've got West Ham boys, you've got Essex lads, you've got debutants, you've got people coming from all over the country for this one, but also closer to home than York Hall, and been able to sell a lot more tickets because travel as well that people need to take into mind. So now we move on to I don't know the running order again, but it's one before last on Box Rec here. James Ozzy Osbourne versus S.A. Smith. James had a great performance on your last show. Both men were on your last show. S.A. Smith, unfortunately, got knocked down in the first 10-15 seconds against George Lillard, but what a warrior, what a chin, a farmer himself. Is it Cornwall, right, that he's from, or is it somewhere else?
Yeah, yeah, Cornwall way, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What a tough fighter. And like you said, can I ask you as well, because Andre Draskelu is the super middleweight Southern Area champion. You were trying to get that. I believe it was mandatory or made in the British Border Control. And then Andre vacated the title. Could we get this for Southern Area, or is that yet to be decided?
We tried for the Southern Area, but they just said that S.A. Smith hasn't had enough fights. And I tried arguing the case that he could go out now and fight 2 journeymen and his record would be enough. But what's the point? He only wants to fight 50-50 fights, you know? So he wants, like, if you look about who he's fought, he's drawn against Rivers, you know? He's
Mm-hmm.
lost George Liddard, but he's beat Alfie Gaskin. You know, he's only fighting real fights. And to not give him that chance, I was devastated, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. But we'll wait him. There might be another title on the line, but the problem is that fight is 4 weeks away. I'll find out on the other title 2 weeks away. They've got to do their check weights and that. So I just need to know that he's happy to box without a title before that one's 100% confirmed as well, unfortunately. But the promos have been booked. Like I'm doing my bit, but unfortunately the ball turned it down for a Southern Area, which I cannot believe. But that's boxing for you, you know. Like I in my heart, I know he deserved it. But listen, James will still fight for the Southern Area, maybe on the November the 30th, whatever happens. So yeah, as long as they're happy to stay on, which I think. Listen, S.A. Smith He's an away fighter, so he's coming down paid and that. So he should stay on, but we'll never know that. Hopefully, I've been trying to sort it this morning, but his manager's he's not got internet on his phone. He's a bit old school, so it's been hard to sort. But yeah, we'll know more on that later.
100%. I love to hear that. Johnny, as we said there, and before we go on to your main event, James Osborne, S.A. Smith, and is it becoming an issue now, not only in boxing, but and I know it's between the board, but there's no one else in the super middleweight division that is eligible to fight for the Southern area. And you've just had Zach Kelly and Callum Simpson box for the British and the Commonwealth. The English is currently vacant as well, I believe, unless Mark Jeffers has. Yeah, talk about it there. What the struggle as well? But do you feel like next in line, the winner of this deserves the Southern Area title?
So Aussie's next fight will be for the Southern Area, is mandatory. But there was no one willing to fight Aussie other than S.A. Smith. No, the champion vacated, so it was very hard to match him. They've asked me to ask some of the names you've mentioned. The manager said no, so it's tough. And like I said, it's tough to get someone to fight Aussie. There's a lot of pull-outs, and if you're booking away fighters, they're asking for too much money. And it's the same for S.A. Smith. Not many people are going to want to go and fight him. Journeymen are getting knocked out by him, or it's a 50-50 and he's staying in and beating them, so they're not going to book him to be an away fighter. Now, this fight ticks all the boxes. The board was happy. It just didn't get made. So a name you mentioned is the Silver Commonwealth champion. He's hopefully going to fight for the main Commonwealth. So hopefully the Silver Commonwealth will drop down and we can have that for the show. But I just need to make sure that S.A. Smith's willing to stay on without a title, because like many, fighting Aussie, you're going to want a title or something there,
And we see it happen with the last one as well, where it was scheduled for a title last December, and not many people are willing to take it without a title and without a person take that risk. So we go on to the main event now, and is it bittersweet? And we know you're no stranger to it; it has happened in the past. But how do you remain professional? As you said, like the Marley Mason fight, like other fights, you're at York Hall watching a fight, and within 40 minutes you've rescheduled the bout, and in 2 hours you've made this bout. But Elliot Well versus Lloyd Jermaine for the Commonwealth Silver title. Why has it gone from? I know the Bren Cocker fight is unfortunate. We'll have that on the next show, but you were scheduled to have 2 European contests on this one. Now, how come it changed from the IBO European to the Commonwealth Silver?
Because if I'm honest, European level is not small hall. We were speaking off camera about small hall, Southern area. Yeah, sorry, the wife's trying to ring me. So small hall is, Southern area, Silver Commonwealth, maybe in English if you got a sponsor from the boxer. And everything was in line for him to get it, but the fight was coming up late 20,000s, and the tickets and the sponsors, it just wasn't adding up. And to get someone over, the flights and the ball tax, it just wasn't working. And I looked at it, we got people in, and it was just all the English opponents didn't want it. All the foreign opponents wanted more money. And then I just said, I've got an idea. Ursu's now mandatory for the Commonwealth. He don't need the belt. If he fights, he's not going to want to pay all the fees and that anyway. So just vacate that belt, give me that belt back. You go on to fight for the Commonwealth, and then you can fight the winner of this fight, hopefully, for the Commonwealth on your first defence. How great is that? And everyone agreed. And then I said, right, the matchmaker, Danny's from Wales, I said, ask Lloyd, ask Lloyd Jermaine, and that'll be a great fight. As soon as I put it up, everyone was telling me how good this fight was. What a main event. And you don't understand, it's been 9 weeks of trying to get this fight sorted, knowing that Elliot was on and trying to get him an opponent. Constantly waiting on things that weren't progressing, foreign matchmakers. And it's very, very hard work. And now to get this fight at that level, I put it into the board. All their licenses are in order. Got to wait, and then we've got the fight. So I'm buzzing. Lloyd's getting his promo filmed on Friday. He's coming down to the media day on the 18th. It just ticks all the boxes. And like I said, I'm a problem solver, and I'm letting things lay in people's hands, and I get agitated and sitting on my hands, and And in the end, I just snapped and said, right, here's the options, 1, 2, or 3. Tell me what one you want, and I'll get to work on them. And then we got it over the line. So yeah,
I
hard,
lost it.
big, because 2 European titles on a small hall show, it's unheard of because there's too much money, you know. So it's a big game. Listen, the European title will obviously be co-main on the next show, you know. So it'll be fine. We'll get that one over the line. And like I said, Marty now gets to come out in a home corner, so it's win-win on everything's ticked. And Elliot Well is still fighting for his first title against the former Welsh and the Celtic welterweight champion. So yeah, brilliant fight. Brilliant fight. The only time he's lost is when he's been on Sky Sports, and that's the level we want to be at, to bridge the gap.
And both, one's 10-0, the other one's 9-1, so same amount of fights in a professional contest. Both been on big stages. Wasserman, obviously TV show, and so has Lloyd. Talk about that there, and you label it as a small hall cracker. What can fans expect? This is your main event on the night, and what can fans expect? Another one to remember for a long time. And do you see this going the distance, or do you see there being a stoppage there, because both men have the power?
Yes, sir. If they train correctly, anything can happen. It's a 50-50 fight. Obviously, people are going to favour Elliot because he hasn't lost, but you only lose when you step up, you know. But he has stepped up and he's dealt with everyone accordingly. He's 88th in the world. Do you know that? 88th in the world. And fight for a European, you've got to be in the top 150, you know. So getting someone who's in the top 150 to fight him is very expensive and very difficult. In fact, I even messaged a few higher governing bodies to get him a better title, and he's in line for him. This fight will make him in line for him. He's obviously with BCB management in Errol Johnson. And listen, may the best man win. But Lloyd's not here to make up the numbers, is he? He's coming off a loss. He needs to win. He can revive his whole career, you know. And if he wins, well, why not come back down? Even if he loses, as long as he puts on a good show and puts up a good fight, as long as he does everything need be, his medicals are done, and he does the media's like I want them to be done, and he's on time, and he doesn't let me down, he'll come back on. You know, that's all I ask for. And listen, people will probably see him on my show, and they'll probably try and nick him, to be fair, if he does everything right. But I'm pretty sure the love and everything they get from mine, then he'll stay on.
And Johnny, as I see with your 20-second rules, by the way, when are you going to improve on those or extend the time? Because you're not managing to get it within 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's too hard. It's too hard, but sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. I might up it to 25 seconds, 30. So.
And I love that. And last two before I let you go, because we could talk all day long. I'm going to give you a minute from top to bottom. I'm just going to list it. I want you to just name what fans can accept, because I want to say who do you see stealing the show, but everyone has a right to steal the show here. Everyone's a big star. So I'm going to give you a minute. If not, I'll be faithful. I'll give you a minute and a half. I want you to just give a few sentences, if not a few words, on each contest. So in 3, 2, 1, Harvey Smith versus Sean Jackson.
Very exciting debut. Something special could be starting. From what I've heard from the sparring stories, I think we've got a very good boxer on our hands, and I'm very excited to see him. I don't like listening to stories. I want to see it live. That's half the reason I put him on.
Danny Boardman versus Lewis Fishman.
Another Queensbury prospect. I'm hearing exactly the same things, but Lewis Fishman's no mug. He's here to win. So I'm excited to see Louis try and get back to winning ways as well. So may the best man win.
And we go to Kate McLaren versus Bojana Bezelska.
UK debut. Very happy to have her on. Bit of an unknown quantity. I'm going to have to see what she's about.
Lady Buttigieg versus Kane Morgan.
Very good fight. Matchroom boy back on. I believe it won't be as easy as what it looks on paper for him.
Finney James versus Conor Mimo.
The captain is here to show us what he's made of. He's had the other shows and he's had their treatment. Now we give him the top tier treatment, see how he likes it.
And a girl who I'm wearing her shirt and proudly stole the last shirt and hopefully does the same this time out. Lily Winch versus Beck Connolly.
Yep, great fight, stepping up in opponent and down in weight. She's starting a professional career exactly as I like, and she's gotten a lot of press and a lot of tickets around her. So make sure you keep it up.
Timmy Phillips versus Stephen Vincent.
All the stories, like I said, it's a debut. I just wanted to see it for myself, and now I'm going to see it.
Morgan Salmafu versus Harley Collison.
Possibly still to show this fight. Don't sleep on it. I'm going to put it on early because the broadcaster are going to need to see a good fight. So I think I want to put that on a little bit early to keep people entertained rather than having a journeyman on at the start.
Marley Mason versus Dan Booth. Marley in the home corner.
Yeah, welcome back, Marley. Back where he belongs. Timing is everything. And unfortunately, my dates and his dates didn't line up. So he had to go elsewhere, but he's come back.
Finally, something's coming home this time. And James Osborne versus S.A. Smith.
Yeah, this in the main event could be fight of the night. It's a war written all over it. I don't think any of them throw a jab. They just want to have it.
And your main event on the night for the Commonwealth Silver Welterweight title, Elliot Well versus Lloyd Jermaine.
Very, very, very good fight. Exceptional fighters. Both belong on TV and both will get on TV. And this win should propel them to where they need to be.
I'd love to hear that, Johnny. Just before I let you go, that was 2 minutes 40 instead of 1 minute 30. But you know what? I would have taken half an hour on it. Don't worry. And I'll excuse my talking because I'll include a minute of me talking for that one. But before I let you go, do you have a TV partnership or a YouTube stream you have for this one or not yet?
I'll let you know probably in about a week.
Ooh, and just before I let you go, what can fans expect for the media day? What can fans expect for all the build-up that you've had so far? What can fans expect for the fight week, the weigh-ins, the show? And like you said, it's called Diligent for a reason. Not only everyone that's spent their hard-earned cash, purchased tickets, coming to support their fights, bought their shirts, bought their the team shirts, bought everything to do with them, bought coaches down, bought travel, and everyone that will be there in the arena and watching online. What's your final message to not only Johnny Clark's army, the top tier army, your faithful, everyone that supported from the start, and all your fighters, fans, and your fighters that will be on this show on September the 7th on Diligent. And by the way, just saying, it's international football that week, so there'll be no excuse to not watch boxing.
Well, that was a long question, mate. Well, breaking down what you said, what can they expect from their hard-earned money that they've spent? It will be worth it. You know, you're coming to watch Lily, for example, you're going to see another 10 good fights around her. You know, so it's not just coming to watch one boxing match. Come watch the whole show. Watch the build-ups online. Watch the attention to detail from the media days, from the promos, from the photos, even to after the show. After the show, my phone is busier than before the show. It's crazy. The reels just pop off. The views go through the roof. The highlight videos. So just come, concentrate, and enjoy yourself because it's worth spending that money to be in the whole time rather than from one fight. And the way we build our shows up, you want to stay the whole night.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Prince of Essex, the King of Top Tier. God bless you, Johnny Clark, and I shall see you for Media Day next week. And obviously, I'll see you on September the 7th, if not sooner. God bless, my man.
See you later, mate. Bye.